Hi, my name is Sean. I'm with New York City Guitar School, and today I'm going to show you how to play But Not Kiss by Faye Webster. This is, I think, the first single off of her upcoming album that's set to come out later this year. Just a quick couple notes. I'm not really sure whether or not to call this a beginner's tutorial. The form is definitely a little strange. It's not quite like a typical pop song or beginner's guitar song, and the chords aren't exactly what I would consider the first chords that somebody would learn when they're picking up the guitar. But there are only 3 chords in this song, and they're pretty similar shape-wise to a lot of the other beginner chords. So I'll just call it a beginner's tutorial. I think any beginner could pick up this song with the right amount of attention and practice, so we're just gonna roll with it for now. Another note, I did try to grab the exact chords that Faye uses in this song. It was a little hard to see in some of the live videos what shapes she might be making, but I listened to the recording a bunch, and actually the music video was a really great resource. So if you want to watch a clip of her playing it that's really clear and you could see what exactly she's doing, I would highly recommend just checking out the music video. It does a really great job at showcasing her guitar playing. So the first chord we're going to use for this song is going to be an E major 7 voicing. This is going to be an open voicing of the chord. This is going to have your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 4th string, and your 2nd finger right below it on the 1st fret of the 3rd string. Typically, you would strum all of the strings for this voicing. It's important to note that in this song, Faye mostly just plays the lower notes, kind of getting a bassier sound out of the guitar, but regardless, this is what the chord should sound like. The next chord shape is going to be a C major 7 over G shape, and there's a couple different ways to play this. If you're thinking about a regular C over G, you could think about just taking your pointer finger away to make it a C major 7. This would have your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, your 4th finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, and your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, although I know the pinky can be a tricky thing for some beginners. So another way you could play this chord is very similar to your A minor and E shapes. This has your 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, and your 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and it sounds just the same. It sounds like this. Our last chord shape is going to be D major 7, another open voicing of a major 7 chord. And this also has a couple different ways that you can play it. The beginner's friendly version of this has finger 1, 2, and 3, all on the 2nd fret of strings 3, 2, and 1. And you strum from the 4th string down for this shape. If you're a little more advanced though, you could use the barring technique and simply bar the 2nd fret on the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st string, and it should sound like this. So whichever way you decide to play these chord shapes, it should sound the same regardless. Quick note on how to get the accurate sound that she gets on this recording. She's strumming with her thumb on the strings, just kind of using the side of her thumb. It may be a bit better if you have more of a nail, but she's not playing with a pick, and she's generally strumming the lower strings, like I said. All but one portion of the song, she's just playing consistent 8th notes along the chords, just with her thumb. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It should sound like this. Let's take a look at the form. I have a section that I labeled intro. I was trying to come up with names for these little parts because it's sort of different. So this is a little bit strange. We have 5 measures of the E major 7 chord, and then 2 measures of the C major 7 over G chord. We're going to play consistent 8th notes with our thumb across all of those chords, and it should sound like this. This is right from the beginning of the track. So this is the section that I decided to call the intro. 5 bars of E major 7, 2 bars of C major 7 over G. Next we have the verse where we're playing more E major 7 to C major 7 over G. We're going to have 2 measures of E major 7 and then 2 measures of C major 7 over G. We're going to repeat that, and then after we repeat that, we're going to play 2 more measures of C major 7 over G. So it should sound like this. The final section, which I labeled as the post-verse, you could call it a chorus. It doesn't really feel like a chorus to me, although I guess a chorus can kind of be anything. I just called it the post-verse because it feels like something that kind of caps off the verse or sort of acts as an interlude between the verses. I don't know, the form of the song is really strange. It's really cool. For this section of the song, we're going to alternate the D major 7 chord with the C major 7 over G shape. We're going to have 1 measure of the D major 7 on 8th notes, and then a split measure where we do 8th notes on the D major 7 and then 2 quarter note hits on the C major 7 over G. So it should sound like this. You want to make sure, try to do your best to mute those hits on that C major 7. And for this entire section of the song, it's going to alternate between D major 7 and then a split measure, D major 7 and then a split measure, and then D major 7 and a split measure. So that happens 3 times in total. It should sound like this. And then from there, you would go back to the intro. And that is all the parts of But Not Kiss by Faye Webster. It's kind of a tricky little song, but like I said, I'm confident that most beginners could get this down. The chords aren't that different from the ones you would typically learn when you're starting out playing guitar. They're just a little more colorful voicings. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. Let me know what you think in the comments, or if you need any help with the song, you know, leave a comment. It's totally cool. Hope you enjoy.